always forget that. All right. Welcome. So, virtual alumni meeting. It is March already, and I feel like I say this every month, but I am shocked that it is March already.
I know.
So we'll just do a quick round of introductions for everyone who is here, and we will get going with our amazing spotlight speaker, Becca. So, Becca, let's start with you.
Of course, you have to start with me. Sorry. Hey, I'm Becca. I don't remember what year I was at MassBay. I think it was like 2011 or 2012. I use they, them pronouns, and I also now work at the school, sort of, kind of, which we'll go into later.
Nathan,
Great.
you go next.
Who, me?
Or Nathan, either one.
Okay, go ahead, Nathan.
My name is Nathan. I am a 2022 graduate. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And I'm Mariana Borelli. I'm a 2007 graduate, and I'm excited to be here too. I can't wait to hear what you do for the school, for the college.
And then hopefully everybody knows my name is Sydney Johnson. I'm the Alumni Relations and Volunteer Coordinator for MassBay. So lots of stuff going on all the time. So let's jump on in. Becca, all you.
Okay. Hello. I'm Becca. I used to go to MassBay, obviously, many moons ago. I started with early childhood ed, and realized that was not for me. Children are great in small quantities, but not in large quantities. I switched around my major a bunch of times. I don't think I got my associates. I just was trying to get some prereqs. And so after that, I actually ended up moving. I got into Chatham University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved there with my husband. He went to Pitt for grad school. I ended up getting my bachelor's in, I started with architecture and then stuff happened. And ended up changing it to to public relations so that I focus on public relations, and I got a minor in graphic design. Should have done printmaking, but that's another story. Once I graduated, we stayed in Pittsburgh for a few years. We bought a house. We lived together. I was in Pittsburgh for 7 years, and I actually just moved back to Boston this last spring, where my husband got another job. He's at BU, so I needed a job and I came to MassBay. I've worked mostly customer service and stuff like that, and I really like that. I like retail, and so I'm actually working. I manage the bookstore now. It's solid. It's fun. I love the kids. Y'all are great. Sydney's great. Staff is great. And I'm just living. I'm living in Brighton now. Brighton, sort of, kind of, close enough. And that's what I do. I don't really know what else I'm supposed to say.
Don't say anything more if you don't want to. But does anyone have any questions for Becca? I can probably think of a couple just to keep the conversation going. But anyone
So I have a question. I have a question. So Becca, how do you choose like the books? I know the professors must give you whatever they require for the classes, but do you get to put your own imprint in there at all for any?
Absolutely none.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. We have some mass market paperbacks and like regular readers, but I don't have really control over the inventory other than saying we don't have it or pestering faculty to actually tell me what their books are. It's a process. I really like working with the faculty most of the time. Sometimes it can be a little stressful, but as long as if faculty gives me their books, that means that students can use their vouchers. So that's a big portion of what we do there. Is like, I mean, I know you can get books cheaper elsewhere, but some students can't afford to get books anywhere. So MassBay gives a lot of vouchers, lots of financial aid things, and you can only use that at the bookstore. You can use it for just about anything. Um, and so what I need is for professors to communicate with me and my team so that so students can get their books. But I don't have control over it other than saying this professor should have sent me a book, and then my team stocks it.
So how big is your team?
Well, I'm the only official employee at the store. We have some staff from like other stores, other parts of the country, corporate. So I work closely with my regional and the one right below regional. I forget. I work closely with people who work at other stores. And then we also have a textbook materials manager who is the one who actually makes sure those purchase orders get in for special orders and for regular orders. So a professor maybe wants something for a grant program. I work with a few of the grant programs. We work with a textbook manager, but also like, let's say a professor has a book that they need that they want a used edition. I try to get those first, obviously. We all try to do that, but it's a team. I'm the only one. I have 2 student workers though in the store, and I'm in the process of hiring 2 more.
Great. I have one more question, and this, I don't know how controversial this might be, but do you sell banned books in your store? Any banned books?
I don't know what specifically books are banned at this point. There's so many. Unfortunately, I sell the books that the professors tell me to buy. So if a professor wants a banned book, then I will sell the banned book. But I have, it's up to the professors.
I feel like there's got to be a couple in there though.
I
Yeah.
think we have 1984. Was that one banned?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I guess they won't be banned in Massachusetts.
You'd be
Or
surprised.
would they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes when a book is banned, it doesn't mean that like they're gonna stop selling it or anything like that. It's more like it's banned from like school systems, and it's like there's different things going on with it. So, um, but that's a good question. The banned book stuff's really interesting.
It is interesting.
I have some little questions.
Thank you.
I have a question too.
Yeah, go for it, Nathan.
I'm not sure how to sort of phrase this, and maybe I will phrase it the wrong way. But when I was there, I have a disability, and do you still do like ebooks or digital books? Because for students with disabilities, I guess that's a good question. Um, but do you work with accessibility resources? Do you continue to work with them if a student requests alternative textbooks or something like that?
So yeah, that's actually a really important thing to me. I also used ARC when I was in. Well, I don't think it was ARC then, but I used ARC when I was at MassBay. And ebooks are a very big portion of what I do. If there's an ebook available, we'll do that. If there isn't a digital version, or if someone maybe needs a large print or special edition, that's something that I can't specifically help with, but I will connect students with the disability services, or if I have to, with my representative at their book's publisher. I want MassBay to continue to be as accessible as possible. And even though I technically work for Follett, which is a separate company from MassBay, we work so closely with the school, and it's something that's so important to me that I will do everything I can to make sure students get access that they can.
That's really great to hear. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I think it was Follett. When I was there, I purchased a digital book and yeah, I got emails saying follow it, so, or e-follow it or something.
That's been the company since before I went, so 10 plus years ago.
When
Follett's kind of got the monopoly on college bookstores.
yes, and I'm sorry, you might have mentioned this earlier, but when did you start?
So this is actually my first management position, and I just started with Fallen as well. I hope everyone is still understanding that I'm still learning. But I started at MassBay and at Follett about mid to late August, so right before classes started last year. It was awesome.
Oh, okay, so you're very new. Well, not
I've
very
actually
new.
apparently been here almost exactly as long as the last manager now. So
Really? I didn't think
yeah,
Alex was there that short. Well, Alex was there when I started, so I just assumed that he was there for a while, but you're doing great.
it was Ryan.
Is,
That
Oh,
was before
Ryan.
me.
Ryan.
is Chris still there?
No, Chris I think was temporary. Or maybe Chris was before Ryan. I don't know. No, Chris was before Ryan. Chris no
Oh,
longer works.
sorry
Excuse
about
me,
the
works for
noise.
Follett. Um, but Ryan does.
All right. I got little question. So, looking back, what is one thing you wish you knew as a student at Mass Bay that you now know?
Um, I wish that I knew about the grants actually, because I had financial aid, and I don't know. I don't actually don't know how prominent it was back when I was a student. But I wish that I knew like that bookstore vouchers, I could use it to buy like a laptop, or that I could get pens and pencils that I didn't have access to. I mean, I paid my way through all of school. I started when I started school when I was 17. Um, I was a high school dropout, and like I needed something to do. Um, but I started Mass Bay when I was 17, and I had grants, and if I knew that I had that funding, or the ability to have that funding, I think Mass Bay's really, really much better at it now than they were then.
Awesome. What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in your career and how did you overcome them? I feel like this is like interview questions. Like they're not like these aren't like gotta answer the
I'm not. I'm
question.
not. I'm not gonna say okay. The biggest challenge. I'm gonna treat it like an interview, but also like I'm a real person.
Yeah.
Um, the biggest challenges in my career, I think, have actually been the fact that I've just kind of moved around so much. And personally, like I was in school for a little bit here. I was in school for a little bit there, like, and I came back here. And like it just my lack. I had some lack of continuity. Um, and then it just held me back because I could have had more. I could have. I feel like I could be farther in my career than I would have been if I had just stayed in one place. Um, and maybe not gone to Pennsylvania, even though I love Chatham. It was a great school. It's also a Follett school. Um, but I think the way I've overcome it was, I mean, stick to my guns. I'm a I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a personable person, um, and I've just kind of persevered because I had to. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. It gives us a good insight because we have such a unique student body, and like even just the people who are on this call, like we have someone who started school after being a high school dropout at 17. Nathan, I'm not sure when you started, but you just, started after high school, right? Or did you have a little bit of a break?
Sorry.
You're fine.
I started after high school. I was doing two things at once.
Gotcha. And then Mariana,
That
returning
was,
to education, different career path, like
yeah.
it's it's so cool too because now we're seeing we're seeing an increase of students, being brought in not only by Mass Reconnect, but by like more effective marketing and people figuring out like, hey, everything right now is insanely expensive. You know what's not as expensive and still has like great quality and more opportunities is community colleges. So like that's something that's great that's happening, especially in our state. Like we had the Mass Reconnect and we're waiting to hear to see if it expands to all starting next year. That's something that are rumblings, but we haven't heard anything for sure yet. But, it would be amazing to still have, if it's just the 25 and up still, but it'd be amazing if we had free community college for all, just make education more accessible and just like give people the chance to try a new career, do something right out of high school, work for a little bit, then come back, night courses. One thing that's so cool about like the space that we're in now is that we have so many more night courses available for our human services in this new building. And it's so cool. And I'm gonna stop sounding like a commercial, but um, any other questions for Becca? Anything that you wanna
I was just gonna say that I would like to see it expanded. That's been my question when the governor released it, like why didn't you release it for everyone? And I get that there are constraints in terms of money and stuff like that. It's all about money, unfortunately. But it would be great if that were to come to fruition.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
I have another question for Becca. Becca, so you work in the Wellesley office, correct? Like in the Wellesley campus.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this is a question for you or for Sydney or maybe for someone else, but is Framingham thinking of putting a bookstore in there on that campus?
I know I can answer to a little bit. I don't know if there's plans, but I know that there was one at the old campus. But I don't think there are currently plans.
No, I
I
haven't
think it would
heard
be awesome to
anything.
have one there. I think we all kind of know that we want someone that it would be great to, but I don't even know if there's a physical space set aside.
Yeah, the new building is amazing, but the one thing that we keep having to be reminded is that even though we were sharing the space with Framingham Public Schools in the Farley building, we had 100,000 square feet. This new building, I believe, is under 70. It's between like 60 and 70,000. So it's a tighter space, but it's specifically designed for as much as we could have put in it. There is no bookstore here right now. I've not heard of any plans for them to put one in, but there is a library on campus on the third floor, I believe, and it's open and but no, I also wish there was a bookstore. But students can order their books online. They can still do the vouchers if they have questions. The Wellesley campus is still available. Um, but yeah, that's all I know right now.
We I think this is something that I need to brainstorm. I'm not gonna, but I'm going to brainstorm. This is not official.
Mhm.
This is far from official. I'm going to brainstorm maybe doing like a pop-up, like pickup at Framingham at kind of some semesters, but it's really up to like staffing,
Yeah,
really.
That's
I think
great.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
At
If
least
I'll
at least
I'll
for
go with
pickup, like
you.
we can bring stuff over, but I
Yeah,
just don't know if that's something that I can
Yeah.
feasibly do at this point.
no, I can help you out with that because we can get in touch with student development because they come by and do the snack drop-offs anyway, and they're on campus
Mhm.
bringing other resources over. Um, but no, I think we can. I'm ho- I
It's
think we
it's
can do it.
it
I think we can.
we'd have to
Yeah,
like
we need to
finagle it
talk
a
to
certain way.
we need to talk to some people.
Student
Oh,
development, me
yeah,
and Keith and
yeah.
stuff. We'll talk about it.
Yes, because what I was thinking of is how would that work? Because you would have to say you want your book shipped to the Framingham, and I'm not sure if that would work logistically.
Right. We'd have to figure out the logistics.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's feasible.
Hmm.
But if it is, I think it's something that I could make work. Like I extend my hours during the beginning of the semester. And it was horrible, but it was because I was the only one working, and I was working probably 50 hours, 60 hours a week that the first couple weeks. But um, if I can do that, I can do anything. Um, so it's something that I'll raise. I'm not again nothing set in stone. This is literally an
Mhm.
idea that came to me just now.
Yeah.
No promises to anyone. I know this is recorded.
Don't email us about it. We'll email you.
Right.
Didn't email about it. It worked out.
I probably shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's fine. All right. All right. Well, the rest of our meeting is more of just the little updates that I pop out. Where's the share button? It's in the same spot it always is, and I can never ever find it. All right. So, upcoming events. So we have the continuing of the Babson Financial Literacy Series. So there is a flyer about this in the latest alumni announcement. There are 2 more courses for the spring, but this is a literacy series that happens both in the spring and the fall semesters. So the 2 courses that are remaining are Making Your Student Loans Work for You and Understanding Your Paycheck. These are put on by Student Development. So if the QR code that is in the flyer looks a little weird, asks for a MassBay email, you can put your regular email in and they'll be able to contact you. They were having a little bit of trouble with the form, but that should be fixed. Um, and next on just the relevancy scale, Boston Marathon. Last meeting, we had our 2000s alum Dan O'Neill on, and he talked about his MassBay journey and why he was at MassBay. He talked about his nephew, who's now taking courses at MassBay through the Mass Reconnect program. And we are, he's our marathon runner. He is raising $5,000 is the goal for our general scholarship fund. So we are helping him raise that money. He's had some great ideas. So these are the 2 ideas that he has had. So pickleball tournament. We have a date now. Pickleball tournament is going to be Saturday, March 30th. I'm going to be sending out a sign-up form soon, and it's going to be at the Wellesley campus in our wellness center. So look for details on that. It is teams only, and it is going to be $100 per team because this is raising money towards the $5,000 that's for the marathon for the General Scholarship Fund. So we'd love to see you guys there. If you guys don't come with a team, feel free to come for the day. It should be really fun. And then, any questions about pickleball?
What time is that?
So it would probably need to start in the morning, either at 9 or 10, just because depending on how many teams we have, it's gonna be a day. We are able to set up 2 courts inside of our wellness center, so we'll adjust the start time based off of how many people we have sign up. But just plan for the morning. Hopefully, we're not going to start earlier than 9.
Okay.
Do not ask me about the rules of pickleball. I do not know.
What are the rules of pickleball?
I don't know. um, and then Dan O'Neill, our marathon runner, also has 2 books out. So he has one called Big Dan Runs the Marathon, and the other is a book of short stories and poems detailing, just his life, his time at MassBay, just a bunch of stuff going on. So at that book signing, it's going to be Friday, April 5th. It's going to be in the library atrium on the Wellesley campus. and 100% of the proceeds from those book purchases are going to go towards the fundraiser for our general scholarship fund. So that should be fun. We're also going to be fingers crossed, we're also going to be selling them at the Marathon Fest. So we were there last year. It's in the parking lot of Jack Sabby. It's put on by Downtown Framingham Inc. And their fantastic executive director is our MassBay alum, Rayad. So we always like to support his events. They're always so great. It really brings out all of like the amazing Framingham businesses, and specifically in the downtown area. So it's always a great time. It's right on the 7-mile mark. So last year when we saw Liz Cooper run, we were able to track her on the app, which is kind of creepy, but you can track anybody if you have their bib number, and there's little GPSs in there, so you can see exactly where they are. It's amazing. So we saw her and we're like, oh, she'll be here in 5 minutes. And we just walked over and got a little spot and saw her, and we all got to give her hugs. It was so much fun. So that'll be the same day as the marathon, that Marathon Fest, and that's April 15th, which is Patriots Day. So it's going to be good. So again, more details on that are going to come either in the next alumni announcement, but I might send like a little like events and reminders, just short little alumni announcement before that one, just to get the info out a little bit sooner. The networking and headshot event is a go. It's going to be Thursday, April 11th, and it's going to be from 11 to around 1 in the newly renovated student lounge space that is room 242. It used to be the computer lab that was on the second floor across from like where the HR office was. It's the space that has all the beautiful stained glass inside of it. So we're going to occupy that space. We're going to have networking. We're going to bring in 2 professional photographers for headshots, one of whom is an alum, Nikki Webb. She's amazing. And then we're also going to be bringing in the Wellesley Service League and different business courses, and they're also going to be having a LinkedIn workshop. And then from 1 to 4 that same day, this day kind of just kept expanding. The executive offices of Health and Human Services, I'm 90% sure that that's the office. They're having a public, open to the public, everybody can go, career fair in our cafeteria. So all of the offices that are going to be, all of the offices that are part of that, government services, they're going to be there. So they're expecting like a lot of people. So if you know anyone who's like looking for a job, just want to come hang out, see what's going on, the headshot and networking event is available to everybody, alums, students, and it should be really good. Yeah, come through, Becca.
Staff, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're also an alum, so. But yeah, so we're hoping, we need to make sure that we have enough time, but we'll get everybody headshot, no worries. And then announcement. So let's talk personal finance forum. Last April, the topic was first-time home ownership. And this time it's going to be about entrepreneurism, business ownership. So this forum is something that's like very near and dear to me. It was actually the idea of Bill Rayner, who's in the other room right now talking about his own book, and alum Alfonso. And this event was like the first like big event that I had on campus, and it, honestly, it made me believe that I would someday be able to own a home.
Well,
Thank you. I'm just fingers crossed. We've given up for this year. We've moved on to wedding planning, so that's like a whole nother financial burden. But this time we're doing entrepreneurship, and I have a great list of alums who are business owners, who who are looking to start nonprofits, people who are familiar with grants, and an alum who's familiar with the banking side of things. So I am waiting to firm up their spots on the panel, and then we'll announce an official date, but it's going to probably be that last week of April. So I'm very excited about that. And that's going to be later in the afternoon into the evening. So probably from like either 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, just depending on what works best for the most people. Paint night. I swear I'm going to do a paint night. I've been saying this for a year, but I swear I'm going to do a paint night. I have canvases. I just need brushes and paint. and a date. It's gonna happen. So I'm thinking in May, because May is, of course, commencement time. So maybe everyone needs like a little break in May. Come paint, do that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna set that date, get it out. If it's not in the next alumni announcement, feel free to yell at me. Um, um, yeah. Then my
That's
microphone. And then I forgot if I put it on here yet or not. But words for grads. I was gonna like Google Bard, Google Gemini, AI, some different titles for this, but I want to do like a Microsoft Forms sending out to everybody with the alumni announcement, just so people can like put little like words, little phrases, little sentences, little words of encouragement to the new grads. And then I want to have it on like, I'll like write everything out on like a big piece of paper, and we'll have it at the alumni table at commencement for students, for new grads to read. So just words from alums to new alums, and just something cute like that. So working out logistics for that, trying to figure out how expensive big pieces of papers are, or if I want to get like a big canvas, something fun like that. So yeah, any questions about these events?
no,
Fun fact, commencement is actually on my birthday this year.
Awesome. That's cool. When is
So
Miramax? Is it that same kind of day, or is it a different day?
it's the weekend before.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Wow.
if you don't mind, I will send you a photo and you can put it in like the good news or whatever milestones or accomplishments.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for thinking of me. Yes, definitely, Nathan. That's great.
are you going to
So
be looking
excited.
for volunteers for graduation?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What day is it actually going to be on?
It's gonna be on,
May 23rd.
yeah. So I believe yep, it's a Thursday. So it's the second to last week of the month, on the
Okay,
23rd. It's a Thursday.
all right.
And then I'm taking a Maycation right after
I don't
commencement.
blame you.
Congratulations. I'm so
If
excited
I
for you.
volunteer that day, you will have to sing me happy birthday.
I will do that.
Okay.
That's a great trade, Nathan. I will take that.
Okay. Or
All right.
treat me to
That
dinner.
personal
Well,
finance
maybe
forum
you
sounds
can't
really
do
fun.
that.
Now
But
I'll sing. I'll sing to you.
okay.
Yeah, and then event wrap up. Since we've had the last meeting, we had the alumni basketball game. It went even better than I could have ever hoped and thought. We had probably around half the people who said that they were going to be there show up, but it made it so that there was the perfect amount of people to have just a solid full time out, amazing game with a couple of subs on each team. So, and it was so cool. It was tied basically the entire time, and then one team pulled it out at the end, and it was just so cool. I'm not in my regular office, so I don't have. Last time I showed off the rally towels that had the basketball logo on it, and same thing with the little basketballs. And then on the alumni LinkedIn page. And in the last alumni announcement, I included the link to the recording of the game and some pictures that are on the MassBay Athletics website. So that is definitely an event that we are going to make an annual event. And because that one went so well, and fingers crossed I get a larger budget next year, I've requested for it. We'll also do hopefully an alumni soccer game and an alumni volleyball game. So we're really hoping, because they're just so much fun, and they're a lot of work, but it's so easy to put on because there's people who are like already wanting to do it. It's not like I have to be like, who wants, like, an interest form. Like, people want to do it. So it was so much fun. It was so rewarding. It was so cool seeing everybody. And like after they started playing, I realized I've never actually seen a basketball game like in person before, and it was wild. Like, it was so cool. Um,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was so cool. Um, yeah, and then volunteer opportunities. So Also, with commencement, scholarship application review is going to be happening at the end of next month, beginning of May. Mobile Market is back from the little winter hiatus that we had with Mobile Market. So if anyone wants to help pass out food, so for those of you who might not know what Mobile Market is, maybe someone's watching the recording of this, Mobile Market is a fantastic partnership that MassBay has with the Greater Boston Food Bank. They come by the second Wednesday of every month except for December and January, and they provide fresh fruits and vegetables and other non-perishables to students, faculty, staff, the community members who are part of MassBay, and it's absolutely free. They just ask that you like register like with us, and the development team does the registration. So the food bank just needs to know who's taking the food, but it's easy peasy. It's so nice. It's done outside. So especially now that it is warmer outside, knock on wood, I still believe that we are in our notorious Massachusetts false spring, and we're going to be getting a snowstorm or something in the next 2 weeks. I just feel it. But hopefully the weather's still nice next week.
Don't you dare
I know.
curse
I
us
know.
I'm
such.
not. It's a feeling. It's in my bones. And then the
The,
mentor.
sign me up for the scholarship.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the mobile mart, that's like in the afternoon, right? It's from like 10 to 2 or something.
It's from 11:30 to 12:30. So for the volunteers who help actual with distribution, they ask for people to be there at like 11. So probably from like 11 to 12:30.
Yeah, that's usually not a good time for me.
Yeah, it's a little tough. We have a lot of people from like on campus, faculty and staff who volunteer to help do that during the day. And then we also have assistants from the Wellesley Service League who helps us out with so many of our volunteer needs on campus. So we have a good amount of people, and it's always fun. It's always fun to
Yeah.
be able to talk to everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that. It'd have to be like my day off or something.
Yeah.
Mariana, I should know this, but what do you actually do? Maybe I know and just forgot.
I'm a director of operations for a law firm in Boston.
Oh,
So I
okay. You
manage,
don't work at MassBay?
no, I don't work at Mass Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right now, where my office is moving, technically we're supposed to be moved by January, but I think we may be moving in October to our new space. So
Oh,
we're
oh,
building out,
okay.
and so that's really busy. But
I thought you were a faculty at MassBay. My bad.
oh no, that's not. There's nothing wrong with
Maybe
that.
one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mariana, what type of law? I'm just, is it a big law, medium, small? Just
So we're about
curious.
45 attorneys, and we do litigation, real estate, corporate, employment, um, and like big box stores.
Fun stuff. My husband's a 1L, so that'd be you. So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we have
Cool.
attorneys who are actually professors at BU Law.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sydney.
No. This is what these meetings are for. We're building connections, learning more about each other. Perfect.
Networking.
Networking. Yes. Yeah, and then mentor programs. Like we would normally always talk about the mentor programs. We have STEM mentor, business mentor, the multicultural mentor program. I believe there's an IT mentor program now, but like I need to like find more details about that because I really only ever hear about those main three. But yeah, I'll have more details on that one next time. And then there are rumblings that we're going to try to have a um, auto tech mentor program, just because the students over in Ashland are very, Framingham and Wellesley are very like stark campuses, but Ashland's even more, you know, it's closer to the Framingham campus, obviously, but it only houses our auto tech program. So it's a very close knit office and close knit groups of students, and it's such a cool program. If you guys haven't been over there, definitely pop by. I'll give you guys like a little tour with Dave, the dean. One thing I also don't have on here that we firmed up is we have the date for our next all vehicle show.
I was gonna ask you.
So it's going to be, let me make sure I get the right date now that I'm saying this. It's going to be the 29th of September. So it's a Sunday, which is different than what we did this year. But we have a great DJ signed up, and it should be good. So we're going to start those planning meetings soon to make sure that the logistics all work out. But that's the date that we have. So if you want to put it on your calendar, feel free. And yeah, and then next alumni meeting is Tuesday, April 2nd, at 6 p.m., as it always is. And I just realized that I still have 2023 on my form, so yay, gotta
It's
edit
okay.
that. Yeah, and now it's just regular open forum if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, any ideas that you want to share. And if not, thank you guys for coming. But let's see. Anyone have anything for open forum?
So Cindy, Sydney, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Are we trying to send, I know you send this out on LinkedIn, you send this out to a lot of people, right? I wish we could get more people to come to our meetings.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try doing a Instagram and Facebook campaign to see if that will bring more people in. The only concern that we've had in the past is just having access to the link out there. Um, but I'd be fine with testing it out and seeing how it works. And if, we have somebody who's like not an alum, just causing disruptions, like I can kick them. But we're going to try that out and see how it works because I would love to have more people come to the meetings, hear about what's going on. But I've gotten a couple of emails from people that they really enjoy watching the recordings. So it's good to know that people are actually seeking out the recordings, which is great. So, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about, and I've mentioned this to you and Liz Cooper, but I've thought about creating a separate Instagram, separate from the MassBay View Instagram, just for alumni, and I don't know if that is a possibility. Um, I dropped the ball on that.
No, you didn't drop it's okay.
But
No, you
yeah,
didn't drop the ball on anything, Nathan. You're fine. The only thing with that is that our social media is run by one person and it's just one subsect of their job and they're incredibly busy. So not to be like, well, it's not happening because of this. It's more of if it's going to happen, it's just going to need a little bit more time. So that might be
right.
something that we can
Yes.
think about
And
logistically
maybe
during the summer.
another person will need to step in if they're doing sort of two jobs at once.
Yeah. So that
Maybe
yeah.
we need to hire another person.
Preach into the
Who
choir,
is this we
Nathan.
you speak of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Becca, very much. This was very informative. I learned a lot. And thank you, Cindy, for putting this together for us.
I have one other question for Sydney.
Yeah.
Do you know when the our donors gonna be invited to the evening of appreciation, whatever it is? I thought I saw something on the announcement that
For
there was
for the
a date
celebration
set.
for the celebration of scholars for
Yeah, 'cause you need a speaker,
yes. So
but
that should be
I,
coming to you soon. So a save the date should be sent out by the end of this week. I know that the other ladies in my department are working on that. So I'll double check with them and just make sure like it but it should be from what I've heard it should be heading out to donors by the end of the week. Um So the that's actually a really good point. So the title of the event, so it used to be the Evening of Appreciation. This year we officially changed it to be the evening of the celebration of scholars because we also have an evening of excellence on campus. So the two events were kind of like too closely named and people were getting them confused, justifiably. So we changed the name of that event. But I'll check into that, and if I hear from them like what specific date they're going to send out those save the dates, I'll let you know. But the date of that event, it is invitation only, just to make sure that we're able to get an accurate number for the caterer. And because we're actually going to be having it in the Framingham campus this year, and this campus has we don't have an auditorium on the Framingham campus, so it's just a little bit more limited space, unfortunately. But we wanted to make sure people could see the building, and that's going to be April 18th for the celebration of scholars. So I'll look into when that save the date is going out, and I'll let you know.
It's okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, good questions. All good questions. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
I
you.
will
Bye.
see you next month, if
Bye.
not
Nice
sooner.
to meet y'all. Nice to see you again, Cynthia.
Bye. It was nice seeing you. Bye. Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.